Hi, all of you. Nice to be here. I want to introduce myself first. I'm Andrea. I'm working for Moodle Workplace at Eladia since 1.5 years. A year ago, one of our clients came up to us with that question. Why can't our team leaders see all our team members in their reports? And when this question arose, we were a little bit wondering because we knew if everything is set up correct within Moodle Workplace, within the tenant, with the organization structure and things like that. So team leaders, for example, should be able to see team members. And so we tried to find out why this question arose and what happened. And we had a look in the system and we could find out that everything in the tenant and with the settings was really nice and looked really fine. So we didn't knew why this question came up, and we met our client to discuss what happened. And if you have a look at this slide, we can see what happened in the tenant's workplace. So we find out that our client has set up all his tenants, all his clients and organization in different tenants, and to A, B, C, and D. And as we know from Emilio before, the multi-tenancy allows us to set up multiple learning paths and learning environments within a workplace. And this is what we see here. So we have, for example, tenant A. We see the user located in tenant A. We can see they have their own design, their own courses, programs, certification, and their own organization structure, and as well, at least, their own report. And what happened? Why team leaders, for example, for tenant A, couldn't see all their team members in their reports. And if you have a look at just to tenant A, to the little guy above with the little crown, let's say this is our team leader in tenant A, and let's just name him Anton. Anton would like to see program reports and certification reports and custom reports of his team. But due to multi-tenancy, we see next to Anton, there's another red little guy. And this guy belongs to Anton teams. But as we see here, there are only these two persons located in tenant A, which are the team of Anton. And if you have seen now to tenant B, C, and D, we see that we have some other little red guys as well. So these team members are also belong to Anton's team, but due to the multi-tenancy, Anton is not available to see all that staff members as well. So what we have to do, or what the problem was, if we have a look to the course with the mark, the tenant administrator, or the site administrator, sorry, took one of the courses located in tenant A and created a program and a certification in tenant A, as well in tenant B with these courses, C and C, and in tenant D as well. And due to the multi-tenancy, Anton isn't available to look into his team members who are located in tenant B. So nevertheless, he wants to do, or he wants to see, he is not able to see all the other guys in the other tenants. And what we find out after we discussed that problem with our client was that tenant B, C, and D are not separate clients. We are not separate tenants. We are sub-brands of tenant A. So we needed to make sure that we remodeling the system so that the tenants B, C, and D merged into tenant A, so that all the team members are visible to their team leads. So within the reports in the program, in the certifications, and within custom reports. So as I told, the objective was to enable seamless cross-tenant collaboration and reporting. So we needed to maintain the complex organizational structure and cross-functional team dynamics. So that means that teams located in different tenants belong together, and where team leads are able to see the progress of his team members in programs and certifications and so on. One of the most important point was that they shouldn't be any impact on our tenants. That means all the other tenants located on the system shouldn't be aware that we gonna to be a remodeling and that nothing changed for them. So the challenge was that we have to focus on core product and to minimize the use of open source plugin as well, to make sure that the use of the new system is easy of use and easy of understanding for the tenant administrator and as well for the site administrators. And then we discussed with our clients some ideas to find out what should be the best solution. And we have for a solution or for ideas. So the first one was using the shared space. The shared space is a fictive a tenant where the site administrator can put courses, programs or certification into, so to use the shared space to share content through all tenants. As I told before, that all the other tenants not belonging to the umbrella band shouldn't see anything or shouldn't be aware of anything what happened in the system. That's the same, they shouldn't be aware of what happened in the shared space. So the shared space wasn't an option we could choose. The other option was that we create one account per tenant, but that means that the tenant or the team leads and the manager in one tenant needs to log in and to log out between the four tenants. And this was just confusing, and we tried to avoid that. So this option wasn't also not chosen. And the other one was to creating a multi-client role for manager and team leads, and this worked quite well. So the manager or the team lead could log in into the Moodle workplace system, but as well he needed to switch between tenants during he was logged in. So we had the same problem with that option with the one account per tenant. So he logged in once, but he had to select the tenant and the specific report he wants to see of his team members located in that tenant. And the last idea was just to say we create one tenant for all brands to make sure that the cross-tenant collaboration and the visibility of all team members are able for our team lead, for our Anton. So the solution we chose was dissolving the individual brand tenants and integrated them as subtenants under the umbrella organization. And when these questions from the sub-brands, from the tenants B, C, and D arise, so they ask, are we losing our appearance and our corporate identity? And what do you think if someone comes up to you and say, you're not able to use your corporate identity anymore? You're not able to use your logo, your design, the people, the employees, the partners and external users are used to. And this would be happen if we integrate the tenants B, C, and D into the tenant A, so into our umbrella brand, because we only have one tenant. So, and we need to think about to make sure that the sub-brands don't lose their corporate identity. And so we started to prepare step by step to customize the umbrella infrastructure. And how this looked like was, for example, that. So first we needed to prepare for the remodeling, and we needed to set up new custom profile fields. We needed to set up or to update the user data, and as well, we created cohorts for external and internal users. Why we needed to do that? We knew that our client wanted to integrate an HR system and wanted to synchronize via the HR system, for example, the organization structure. So with the new custom profile fields, for example, the fields for manager or team leads or team members, we could prepare for that next step so that we can use these profile fields for the synchronization. Due to the fact that our client didn't had all the user data in the user's profile, they needed to update the user data with information like what kind of institution is tenant B, is tenant C, is tenant D, so that they know how or which users still belong to which sub-brand. And the cohorts for the internal and for the external users, we needed to make sure that we can assign the specific individual design to the tenants, to the sub-brand tenants. So when you're talking about internal users, we're talking about the employees. And if we are talking about the external users, that's the partner, that's the individual clients of a sub-brand, and that's the individual students. Each sub-brand has on their actually current tenant. And to make sure that we can structure all the people within one tenant, so we set up the cohorts, put the internal and external user in that group, and could do the following. Based on the cohorts, the Moodle standard theme, or based on the cohorts, the design could be assigned to the sub-brands B, C, and D. So if you have a look at tenant A, it just keeps its corporate design because tenant A will still be tenant A, so we don't need to change the design for that tenant. but we need new designs for tenant B, C, and D. So we created for each tenant a new Moodle workplace theme, and we assigned this theme to the tenants. And what happened after that, if a user logged in, with the login, the assigned new theme with the specific corporate design of the sub-brand was on the user's profile. So the user wasn't aware that we changed the themes and we did the first step into the remodeling. We did that for each tenant so that each tenant or each sub-brand could still have their own corporate identity. So the next step was the rebuilding of the course category structure. And if you see here, we have the before screenshot, and we can see that the course category structures shows that we have course category for each tenant, so tenant A, B, C, and D. So when we moved these categories into one default tenant and named that the umbrella organization, and then we put all the other course categories of the sub-brands into these default course category. And so we could make sure in that step that all courses from all over these four brands, the umbrella brand and the sub-brands, are into these default course category. So all courses through all sub-brands and the umbrella brands has been in one place. So they could use without any problem, and so we could move on with the next step with shifting users from tenant B, C, and D to our umbrella M. And why we need to do that, as we taught or I explained before, within the multi-tenancy, the users from one tenant to the other tenant are not able to see each other. And that's why we merge them now into the umbrella brand into tenant A. And before we did it, we needed to make sure that we back up all the programs, all the courses, and all the content located in the specific tenants, so that we can migrate them as well. Shifting the users was quite easy and with no problem. So we just used the user management tool to move all the users from one tenant to the other. And after the migration, the new tenant structure looked like this. So before, on the left side, we had still the separate tenants. And after, we had just one tenant with the umbrella brand, with the sub-brand 1, 2, and 3. And we can see here as well, the tenant A has the main course category, and the umbrella brands are located as sub-course categories within the tenant A. And this was the most important thing to make sure that we can move all the users. And it was really interesting because none of the user was aware that they shifted them from one tenant to the other, so they could do while we did that, they could do their courses, they could continue their programs and certification. So we had no impact on the tenants and on the other tenants in the system as well. So after that, we needed now to move all the content we have backed up before from the tenant B, C, and D into the tenant A, where now all users are located, so that they can use their program certificates within the umbrella brand, and so that they can continue with their learning. And as well, we moved all dynamic rules and into tenant A to make sure that the automation using dynamic rules is still going on, and as well do not have any impact. Yeah, this was the migration. The next step we need to make sure was to assign all users of the sub-brands to the required trainings located and organized by the umbrella brand. And due to the fact that before all users has been in that specific course, all the progress on the learning within the course has been still available. So we just could assign the users to the required training, and we could calculate or recalculate the sub-brand program and organizations, certifications. So at least we set up the organizational structure. So this is the part our clients did by themselves. So he organized his organization into teams. So we had department frameworks with the team leader and team member, and were assigned through the custom profile field we spoke before, where users into these roles, and and therefore we could make sure that now a team member could see all his new or all his members, his team members, which has been before located in the different tenants. And you were able to see all his team members in one report. And last but not least, this is the final structure. So here we can see what explained before. So Anton can see his team, and with that organization structure, they could mix and match team members between all sub-brands, so that they can set up a lot of different teams. And Anton could see so his team, and if one of the members is also a team lead of another team, so he has the possibility to see the report and the progress of his team as well. So now we are coming to end. The summary of the achievement is that we could make sure that we set up an umbrella brand strategy, and we could successfully enable seamless cross-tenant collaboration and reporting, and maintain the complex organizational structure. And we had now impact on other tenants through that remodeling process. Okay, thank you.